much does it cost to sell on Etsy? You know how much it costs to sell on Etsy, right? Don't you? Etsy tells us there aren't hundreds of other fees, are they? It's 5% plus 20 cents. That's it, isn't it? Actually, no, there's a whole lot more fees. And if you can't figure out your fees, then you don't know how much you should be pricing, and you don't know if you're making profit on the things that you sell. So knowing your fees is important. And with all the fees I've looked into, your range can be up to about 35% in fees or more. So today I'm going to help you with some examples how taxes, ads, subscriptions and more can actually significantly add up to the fees, and how much you're paying depends on how many items you're selling, how much each of your items costs, and what country you live in. So before we get started, let me know in the comments down below how many different types of fees there are on Etsy and how much you think roughly you're paying in your fees just now. Put a timestamp to right now and let me know in the comments what you think before we go through any of the numbers. And then at the end, dive back in the comments and see if you were right or you'd underestimated or overestimated how many fees you were paying. So today I'm going to first of all break down all of the different fees. But then, as that is not the whole story, I'm going to look into this some more. I'm going to run some quick, real calculations to show what differences, what impact the price of the item you're selling for and so many other things, what difference that makes. So first of all, let's look at them fees and expenses, and you're going to want to pay attention because there's probably more of them than you ever figured out. So firstly, I want to cover those fixed fees that are independent of sales. So these are fees that if you make no sales in a month or you make 1,000 sales in a month, these fees are fixed if you've opted into them. First one is Etsy Plus. It's the paid prescription. I think it's about $9.99 in the US and about $7.50, $7.60 in the UK. And your pattern site, which is about $15 a month. Now, I'm going to mainly be covering dollars here because this is what's easiest to get. Like Etsy charges a lot of things in dollars and then converts it into your currency. But I will mention some UK sellers, some UK taxes as well as we go along. And we'll show you where you can find out everything for your country as well. So the next section, we have some variable type fees. These are still independent of the number of sales you had. So you could get no sales and still have these fees, so these are something to definitely watch out for. First is relisting. If you use relisting as a strategy or you keep on having to relist an item that didn't sell, then that is a fee. That is something that what you're getting out of that, you're paying for your item to be seen in the shop. But it doesn't matter if it sells or not, you still have to pay it. Etsy Ads is the second one of these. I'm not talking about offsite ads. The on-site ads, you pay a cost per click. If you have these switched on, then if someone clicks on your item, regardless of whether they buy it, you have to pay. Okay, so the third category is your sales. What fees do you have because you've made a sale? So firstly, there's that transaction fee, which is 5% plus 20 cents. And remember, this fee is based on your total price, including your shipping. Second fee that comes out on sales that people get confused by is their payment processing. This is what in the old days we used to have to pay to PayPal, but now Etsy deals with all that. It either sorts things out through PayPal or its own payment method, so we have to pay payment processing for someone to handle the money and give it to us. This varies. In the US, it's 3% plus 25 cents, and in the UK, it's 4% plus 20p. So it varies depending on what country you are, and these can make a big difference. And again, that's your total including shipping, and there's something else that gets added on here as well. If your customer is from a state or a place that pays sales tax, and Etsy collects that and remits it on our behalf because they have to, because they're a big business, this is money that we never see. The customer pays it and it goes straight to Etsy. However, we still get the payment processing fee on that. So when calculating that 3 or 4%, it actually includes not only the price of your item and the price of shipping, but it also costs the price of what the customer is paying in taxes to their state. And in our sales, we have an optional or semi-optional, because some people can't turn it off, the Offsite Ads category. This is one we can't control. Some of our sales, if we have Offsite Ads turned on, some of our sales may come from Offsite Ads, and they will be 15% or 12% depending on the size of your shop. I've made a ton of videos about Offsite Ads and Etsy ads. If you want to check them out, I'll link at the end. And there are other kind of hidden fees that people forget about, and that's their discounts. If you're putting in abandoned cart coupons and return customer coupons and all these kind of things, then these are also going to come out of your top line. It's not a fee to Etsy as per se, but it's something that's going to eat into your profits. And actually, tiny rant moment, but I just don't get it why people complain about Etsy Offsite Ads being 12% when they will put in loads of coupons for, you favorited my item, here's a 20% off coupon, and I'm having a Black Friday sale, and every Tuesday I take 25% off my listings. So, I mean, do coupons if you want, but bear in mind that coupons in general are to encourage someone to buy that's already found you. Offsite ads are for brand new people to find you. So I don't know why you would be hating on ads but loving on coupons. Then there are other different fees depending on what country you're from. That could be something like a currency conversion fee, a PayPal fee if you don't have Etsy payments. So that wouldn't be an extra payment. That would be a different fee. That would be instead of the Etsy payments, the transaction charge. So that currently looks like a whole heap of charges. But I've got some more. I can only speak as someone from the UK, but I believe this is getting more and more common. If you have to pay VAT or if you have to pay a tax on the services to Etsy, then every single fee that you're seeing there will have this extra charge. Etsy's not taking it, the government wants it, but we'll have this extra charge. So, for example, my Etsy Plus is $7.58 a month, but I also have to add $1.52 a month. And for all of the fees, so my payment processing fee is 4% plus 20p, and then onto that 4% plus 20p, I also have to pay 20% VAT. And bear in mind what we said about if the customer's having to pay tax, sales tax for that area, then my payment processing fee then includes, it's not just the cost of my item, and the cost of shipping and the cost of the tax that the buyer paid. So it's your 4% plus 20p of all that big chunk of money. But then you get whatever that fee was, there's the extra charge on top of it. So it really does add up. But anyway, I make that over 15 different fees. And I'm sure I'm missing some. I've been searching for days, but I'm sure I'm missing some. With so many different percentages and amounts and everything, what does this actually mean? This is going to be different for everyone. As I said, it depends on the cost of your item. 4% is fixed, but that 20 cents, if you're selling an item for $100, then 20 cents is only an extra 0.2%. If you're selling an item for $1, 20 cents is 20% extra. So the cost of your listing makes a big difference. And the country you're in, because we've seen the payment processing charges actually vary by country, and 1 or 2% can make a big difference. And if you've got these fixed costs like the Etsy Plus, then how much you sell a month is going to make a difference, because each number of sales, for instance, if you sell nothing a month, then your fees are more than your sales. But if you sell hundreds and thousands of items for a great deal of money, then those little tiny fees are a smaller percentage of the whole. So I've run these numbers for you. I've actually made a spreadsheet, because I'm like that does all the calculations for me, and I just want to run through a few of these numbers. So if I just look at the straight fees based in America with no taxes added, if that shop sells an item for $100, then the fees will be 8.45%. That's roughly what we expected, isn't it? The 5% plus the 3% plus the few cents added on top. That sounds fair enough. So fees, they're about 8.5%. Wait. If that seller, instead of selling a $100 item, was only selling a $10 item, then those few cents add up to a bigger percent. In fact, that's 12.6% of the price you're getting for the sale is fees now. That's 4 percent point added in fees from 8.4% to 12.6%. But then, if you're in a country like the UK, where our payment processing fee is higher, and then we have that 20% VAT, 20% VAT added onto our fees again, that £100 sale isn't 8.45% anymore. It's jumped up to 11.28%. So our base is already much higher. And if it was a 10 quid sale, it's not 12.6%, it's now 15.6%. So from the base American buyer with no other things added on, if we go to someone paying a UK size payment processing and getting their VAT added on in price, we go from 8.45% to 15.6%. All of those little fees, it seems like such a tiny difference, but they all add up. And even that tiny tax that I mentioned, the buyer pays the tax, we never see anything of it, but the payment processing, we still get that little charge just for processing the payment that we didn't want in the first place. This actually adds 0.2% to our UK fees. It doesn't sound a lot, but it adds up. Okay, so for fun, let's imagine that these listings have sold from an offsite ad. That would put our base fees up by 15%, more if you're having to pay VAT on those fees. So if we were in the UK selling a £10 item that got the sale from offsite ads, our fees would be 33.8%. But let's be fair, it's unlikely that every single sale is going to come from offsite ads. A usual estimate is about 1 in 10 sales. So then I would factor in 1.5 or 1.2% in the ad fees spread across all your listings. So if we assume someone's getting 1 in 10 sales from offsite ads, and we'll calculate the 15%, and they're making 10 sales a month, for the $100 item, that would be 11.71% in fees. And to go to the worst case example, in the UK, the £10 item with 15% offsite ads and all our extra little fees would be 20.88%. So it's nearly double depending on where you live and what taxes you're charged. So if you're looking to calculate how much to charge and what profits you've got, give yourself a fair margin just in case. It's not going to be exact. We can't calculate the exact numbers because there's so many variables. So if you've got a high cost and a high selling item, I would work out to about 15% of your profit going in fees. If you've got a low cost, low sales item, then I would be factoring in 25%. I know that sounds a lot, but actually if you're selling wholesale or in a bricks and mortar shop, they're usually expecting to take about 50%. So it still works out good value, but it's important to know the level of these fees so you can keep a track on whether you're charging enough. So let me know in the comments below, was that about what you were expecting? What roughly are your fees? And I will be making a video in the very near future to show you how to actually figure out your Etsy finances to actually make sense of what they're saying you've earned.